Hello, Gonzaga students, parents, and families. I hope that this brief video message finds you in good spirits and in good health. I wanted to send you this brief video in order to make what is both a personal plea as well as a cautionary warning. Thank you for listening carefully. As you know, on October 13th, it is still our intention to move to our hybrid model. While we wish we could have all of our students back on campus at the same time, this is all that we are permitted to do under the current regulations imposed by the health officials of the District of Columbia. Nevertheless, we are excited to welcome your sons back to campus. Just as you, we want our hybrid model to succeed. For that to be the case, we need everyone to do their best to stay healthy and to avoid any risky behaviors both on campus and off that might result in a COVID outbreak at Gonzaga. Our greatest hope is that while we are open, nobody comes down with COVID-19. We will do our best to provide the safest possible environment for our students, our faculty, and our staff. However, in order to do that, we need your cooperation. First and foremost, we need your sons to comply with all of our school regulations and with health department regulations. We need parents to take very seriously the personal health check that your family will be required to do every morning and to keep your son home if he is experiencing any symptoms that could be a sign of the virus. Also, while on campus, our boys need to do their part by wearing an appropriate mask at all times while on our campus, both inside the school and outdoors. It is the law in the District of Columbia presently that masks are to be worn outdoors. We intend to comply with that law. Please note that gaiters, as they are called, are not permitted and are not acceptable masks. If your son is told that his mask is not acceptable by Gonzaga standards, he will be required to use one of our approved masks, or he will be sent home. We also expect our students to maintain appropriate social distancing at all times while on campus. We expect all students and their families to avoid risky behavior that might bring the virus into our community. Large gatherings in your homes, parties, and travel to states that are listed on the District of Columbia website as restricted travel states are examples of high-risk behavior. If we find that your son is engaging in these activities, he will not be permitted on campus without completing a quarantine. During this time, he will not be able to participate in person in classes, activities, or athletics. There will be no exception to this rule. The same goes for athletics. Students who are participating in team sports outside of Gonzaga that are not following acceptable public health guidelines or Gonzaga's guidelines will be required to discontinue playing the sport for such teams and will need to quarantine prior to returning to campus. In short, all activities by students that are not in compliance with public health guidelines and the policies of the school on campus or off have the potential to force a student into quarantine. And by quarantine, I mean that such students will not be allowed to come to campus, but rather must remain in or return to distance learning for a period of time as will be determined by Gonzaga. Our goal at Gonzaga is to keep as many students on campus for as long as we can. However, if people are careless and sloppy, we may find ourselves back in a school-wide distance learning mode very quickly. This would be an extremely unfortunate outcome. However, it will be the outcome if people do not take the threat of the virus seriously. While we understand that thankfully young people run a much lower risk of serious side effects from the virus, the fact is that our Gonzaga community is not comprised only of young people. Both in our school and in our families, we have relatives such as grandparents and others who fall into higher risk categories and whose health we need to protect. As you know, the goal of our school is to form, as we say, men for others. And as men and women for others, we must be willing to make the sacrifices necessary to protect those who are most vulnerable in our community. Gonzaga teachers are the best you will find anywhere. Their commitment to providing your sons with the best education available is unparalleled. They are also frontline workers in the way that healthcare professionals are. They deserve the same level of protection shown to any professional who assumes greater risk in order to serve the needs of the community. Please help us keep our faculty and staff healthy and safe. There is no better way for you and your sons to say thank you to our teachers and to our coaches than to show them with your actions that their health and safety is important to you. If you have been engaging in risky behaviors regarding the virus, now is the time to stop these behaviors prior to our campus reopening in a couple of weeks. We look forward very much to having your sons back on campus. We hope and we pray that as a community, we will all do our part to keep everyone safe. Thank you so much for supporting our efforts, and I look forward to seeing your sons back here at Gonzaga soon. Thank you, and God bless.